Hello everybody and welcome. Jeff Davis here. I am your weekly YouTube guitar instructor. This week I'm bringing a really fun song to play. It's a song by Harry Styles. It's called Canyon Moon. Really fun song to play. Before I get going, I just want to let you know what the goal is for this channel. My mission is I've been teaching for 34 plus years on the guitar privately. And what I like to do in my lessons, I like to not only teach a song, I mean, let's face it, you can learn a song pretty much anywhere on YouTube, but I want to teach you how to be a better guitar player, teach you about the theory, teach you about the technique, teach you possibly about the music history, all these things that make you a much better musician. But before we get going, if you find value in this video, if you get something from it, if you feel like you're learning, please be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, and above all else, please don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up on all of our future lessons. Without further ado, let's get going. All right, welcome back. We're going to be learning Canyon Moon by Harry Styles. This song is from an album called Fine Line, which was released in 2019. Really fun song. It's kind of a fun, upbeat, jangly, happy, good mood type song. I get a few requests from this from time to time. Students love to play it. Now, the level of this, if we play it, but the actual version, it's kind of an upper level intermediate song. So if you feel like this is too much for you, please skip ahead to this timestamp listed right here for a much easier version. And once you master that, join me back here to tackle the actual version. Now let's get going. So this song has three parts, an intro, a verse, and a chorus. There's a consistent rhythm throughout this entire song that is counted like this. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's how we count the rhythm. I really love it when students count because it helps them understand where they're at within the pattern and also the meter of the song, which is 4/4. Let's talk about down and up strums now. This uses syncopation or what I like to call skip strumming. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. It's a 2-measure pattern, which means that it's going to cover 4 beats and another set of 4 beats. So every time I refer to the pattern, it's always going to be that 2-measure sequence of what we just went through. Let's talk about the chords in the very beginning. So these chords are non-traditional chords. They are what are known as dyads, which are 2-note chords. They're going to be moving up and down the neck. You notice when I played this in the very beginning of the video. 4 chords, a C chord, D chord with a C in the bass, a G chord with a D in the bass, a C chord with a D in the bass, and then a D chord of sorts. Now let's talk about how that works. So when I'm playing this, one important thing to know about this as I'm moving is my thumb is going to be an anchor to my hand. I'm keeping my thumb behind my second and my first finger, right? Really important that you do this. A lot of students get caught up in keeping their thumb stuck in one spot. Think about your thumb being an anchor to your hand like there is an anchor for a boat. If you put an anchor to a boat, that boat's not going to go any further. Imagine this is your anchor, this is your boat, right? So as I'm playing, watch my thumb. I'm keeping it higher than normal so you can see. That's getting my guiding. The guiding factor here is going to be that thumb. I'm going to be it's going to be pushing me. It's going to be guiding me through as I'm pushing my hand up to the higher positions. All right, the other thing about this is that as you're moving up and down the necks, the frets get smaller and bigger, right? So what I want you to do is to make sure you keep your fingers really loose, right? You don't want to press too hard because if you do, they'll start to crumble in on themselves, all right? Okay, so one more thing about this that you need to know is there's something called a pedal tone. A pedal tone in music is a consistent low note that rings out with other chords changing on top of the pedal tone. So the pedal tone is the lowest note ringing. Here's what's happening. We have this chord, which is the D chord, this chord right here, which is the G with the D in the bass, and this chord, which is the C chord with the D in the bass, and then a D chord. You notice what's happening? This is always ringing throughout, right? Got it? All right, let's go over that really slow. We're going to count it. This is the pedal tone that's ringing throughout. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 works. It's a 2-measure pattern that's kind of fitting over those 4 chords. All right, let's jump into the verse. So the verse, you will be playing the exact same rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 4, and, all right? Or down, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. We're going to play that over the chords in the verse. Let's talk about what the chords are. We have a D chord. We have an A chord. We have an E minor chord. And then a G chord. Notice I'm playing the E minor. I'm playing with 1 and 2 because I want to easily get to the G chord. Right? Fingerings for chords are subjective, meaning that it can change from chord progression to chord progression. It depends upon the context of where you're coming from and where you're going to as to which fingers we actually use. Sometimes it's easier to play certain fingers than others. Okay, so the way this is going to work in our verse is we're going to have the pattern itself is going to go a total of 4 times for the D chord, once for the A chord, half of the pattern goes for E minor, and half the pattern goes for G. So let's listen to it. It's going to go like... Then it goes back to the intro from there. Let's go through that verse really slowly. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Switch to A. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so that's how that works. All right, same rhythm, just going over those chords in a certain order of D chord, the pattern goes 4 times, A chord, the pattern goes once, E minor, the pattern goes half, and then the G chord, the pattern goes half. Let's go over the E minor and the G chord real quick. So 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See how that works? Half the pattern for E minor, half the pattern for G. That's why I played the E minor like this, because I need to switch to it pretty fast. Okay, so let's get into the chorus. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube that show this chord progression in a very painful way with the 4th finger, because the chords are a D chord, a D with a C sharp, a D with a C, and then a G. I'll play it for you. So it's like... All right, let's talk about that. So instead of playing this chord progression the way I've seen it with the D chord like this and the 4th finger down, I have a certain way I want you to play it. I want you to bar the 1st finger down across the 2nd fret here. We're going to play the D chord just like this. So take a look at your screen. There's the D chord. When we go to the D with a C sharp, you're going to use your 3rd finger. You're going to keep this chord down for D, go and take the 3rd finger, reach all the way out to the 4th fret of the 5th string. It's a C sharp note. And we're going to go to the D chord with a C in the bass. Now we do have to change the fingering here to make it work, but you're still barring, so that makes it fairly easy to switch. So D to C sharp, D with a C. And then when we go to the G, it's just simply 2 and 3, just like that, all right? So the theory behind this is that we have a stationary D chord. The D chord's ringing throughout, but what's interesting is you have this bass note that goes down, bass note that goes down, and then the bass note goes to here. It's just kind of a cool sound when you have ringing notes with changing notes underneath, especially when those notes go lower, right? So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. All right, so that's pretty much how the song is actually played. I just went through the rhythm, we went through the verse and the chorus and the introduction to the song. All right, so as promised, there is a much easier way of playing this song. What we're going to do is we're going to break things down where we take out a lot of the movements in this, and we take out a lot of the bar chords in this. I found a way to substitute all of that out. We'll get into that, but let's talk about the basic strum pattern. So there's no syncopation, there's no tied notes in this, there's no skip strumming. It's just going to be very simply 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. All right? That's all we're going to do throughout the entire song. So while the song is doing this, when it's doing that and the actual version is doing that, we're going to go like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So that works. We're going to do that 4 times. Let's count. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. So that's over the introduction, and I realize it's a little bit fast, but this is a much easier strum since there's no syncopation and no skip strumming. So, all right, so that's what we're going to do for the introduction. Let's talk about the verse. Same strum pattern. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Right? We're going to do that. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up for the pattern. Now we're going to do that pattern 4 times for D, 2 times for A, 1 time for E minor, 1 time for G. So it's going to be. Back into the introduction, all right? So let's go over it really slow. 2 times for A. All right, let's get into the chorus. This part's fun. I know that the actual version does this really cool descending bass line. We're not going to do that. The easiest way of doing this is to take the descending bass line and put it up in a higher position so we don't have to do anything odd with the fingers. So the chords involved here, I'll show you what I mean in a second, are D, a D major 7, a D7, and then a G. So that descending is now on the 2nd string. It's just a much easier way of playing it. So let me play at full speed. So that works? Okay, so let's go over it really slow. The pattern itself is going to go twice for each chord. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 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 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1. All right, so that's it. That wraps it up. That's the easiest way of playing this song. I feel like it kept the integrity of a lot of the moving parts, and it also kind of still gives you the feel of the song. Once you master this, feel free to jump ahead at the beginning of the video to tackle the actual version. I really appreciate you meeting with me today and working on this song. It's been a pleasure meeting with you. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Take care.